Hello, friends. Welcome to this episode 2 of the Dream series, where we're going to talk about destiny, strategy, and solution. My name is Kimberly Woods, and I'm the founder here at O Free Bird Fly. And I am a dreamer both in the day and the night. And one of my favorite things is dreaming with God. Maybe you are like me and you just love that feeling of discovering what God is thinking and what He is dreaming. And maybe you are just uh, really amazed that God speaks to us and tells us what He's dreaming and what He wants to bring to the earth. And we can really find that in the day and the night. And so I was really fascinated that I could just dream with him in the night, and that he would lead me for my business with just destiny, strategy, and solutions. And so we are here to just bring this to you and just really lead you to discover what is possible with God in your night dreams. And I have Britt Peck here with me, and she is our creative business consultant here at O Free Bird Fly. And she also has businesses of her own. And one is that she is a beauty consultant for an amazing company called Beautycounter that I absolutely love. And I know that she loves too. And she also she does lots of stuff for female entrepreneurs. And she is a creative business consultant of her own outside of O Free Bird Fly, and helping just entrepreneurial women really dream and just discover that they can dream, and helps them helps pull that out of them and so that they can launch it. And so I get to have Britt on here with me. Britt, I'm so excited that you said yes to letting me interview you, and just to be able to share with everybody how God speaks to you through dreams. Britt is somebody who I have had an opportunity to just talk about dreams a lot with her, and she is very curious and wants to learn more and more and more. So this is going to be a great episode. We're going to be talking about just the pursuit of learning to dream and understanding your dreams, because there is this pursuit of it, this pursuing of learning the more. And so just a little background of who I am and my journey with pursuing learning is that when I realized that I was having dreams that could mean something, I began to pursue learning more about it. And maybe you are joining us and you are curious uh, about dreaming, and maybe God has started to speak to you in dreams, and maybe you're just starting out, or maybe you've been dreaming a long time and you've never really put in the effort to discover what he could be saying. And so I really feel like this episode is going to speak to the ones who are fit in those kind of categories, where you're like, you're either just starting or you've been a dreamer for a while, and you find yourself there. So we would love to hear in the comments just where are you in your dreaming journey. That helps us bring more content to you and more episodes to really help you in discovering dreaming with God. So let us know in the comments who you are. Tell us who you are. We love to know your name, and just to be able to see your face and what your name is, and where, maybe put in there where you're joining us from, and then let us know where you are in that dreaming journey. So when I realized that God was speaking to me through dreams, I was pretty quick to jump on learning it. And I love learning, and maybe, I don't know, maybe that's why. I just was like, I have to know more. You know, there's obviously this gift. I need to know what this is. And so I began to pursue learning about it so I could grow in it. And uh, I I always get excited when God speaks. Like, it doesn't matter how many times I've been dreaming for about, I think, 5 years, 4 or 5 years. I don't even know. I really need to pin that down and go, how long have you been dreaming? But I have so many dreams, and I still never get tired of hearing when he speaks to me and I realize that he's been speaking to me. Like, I don't know about you, if if you feel that way when God shows you something crazy, or you have a dream and you realize that he just spoke to you. I want to tell everybody, I'm like, can you believe that God said this? Or can you believe that this happened? So I do. I get really excited about dreams. I don't share them all. Uh, some things God tells me, that's just for us. But I do. I get really excited, and that's what I want. Just these dream series to lead you to get excited for hearing God's voice and never get tired of the cool things that He will show you awake and dream and night and then night. But we're specifically talking about night dreams. So when I started pursuing that of learning, I want to share with you what that looked like for me. And I first started with pursuing mentoring. And I started getting these like dreams that, they would come true. So maybe you have these dreams and then they come true. Maybe you have dreams about people, like conversations that they're having and stuff, and then they end up coming true. Is that you? Uh, Whatever it is, however you're dreaming and it's leading you, uh, I knew that I needed a mentor. I knew I needed to find mentoring. I knew I needed something that would help me understand this because, you know, maybe you're one that you think you're weird because you're dreaming and you're having things that come true. That was me. I felt like I was like, this is too weird. And so pursuing mentoring and education with dreaming, that was like, I immediately sought that out. I needed to know that somebody else, that I wasn't the only one, and that someone else was having these type of dreams. And it wasn't really talked about. So maybe you're somewhere that this dreaming in the night with God is not talked about. And I really didn't have anyone around me that was a dreamer. I met one girl, she had early on talked about dreaming, and I thought she was weird. And so I kept her off at a distance with dreaming. But other than that, I had never really encountered anyone who dreamed with God in the night. And then I met this lady, and I saw that she was a dreamer. And so the first thing I did was I just went to a class that she taught. I didn't go to her and go, hey, can you mentor me in dreams? Which that would be fine too. If you have somebody around you and they do that, you could totally ask people to do that. If they do that, ask, and honestly, don't be afraid to ask, because you don't know what someone's going to tell you. If As a leader, we have a responsibility to grow in how we lead. So if somebody were to come to me and I don't mentor, what would I do? I would say, oh, well, I have this resource, right? So don't feel bad asking someone to help you. So that's what I did. She taught a class on the prophetic, and I went to her class and I learned. And she prayed over me at the class, and I took the resources that she provided, and I went and I took them home and I started working on them. I started, like, she gave me, uh, you know, like dream symbols, and she gave everybody in the class. It wasn't just me. She gave those things, but there is like this value on learning. And I didn't leave it up to everyone else to interpret for me. I decided I'm going to be equipped so that I can, and then I let people help along the way of growing in that. So I believe it's two parts. I believe that it is not only allowing people to help you, but growing on taking what they give you and growing on your own. I do believe that we have a responsibility to grow in our gifting. So if that is you and you are dreaming and you're like, I want to know what these are about, you'll feel it. You'll feel drawn to knowing more. You will. You'll just feel drawn to knowing more. And if you don't, I hope to inspire you to be drawn to know more. And so mentoring could look so different. It can be someone in person. It could be books, resources, all kinds of things, and how you can be mentored. And I've used a lot of them. I learned who I wanted to learn from, and I discovered that first. Like how I found her was I heard that you know, she was a dreamer and she taught at my church, and I heard her language. I heard that, and my spirit leapt when she was teaching at church. I was like, I could hardly sit in my seat. I am pretty like expressive with when I like hear something that is exciting. I can hardly sit in my seat, and I want to like yell out something like yes. But it spoke to me. Her language spoke to me, and I was like, I need to know this lady, and I have got to learn from her. And so you're going to find that. I encourage you, discover who you want to learn from. Discover who speaks to you. You don't have to, just because there's this other resource out there, this other person that teaches. You don't have to just learn from everybody, the same people that everybody else learns from, just because they learn from them. There's no rule. I believe that God, that's why I believe the body is so diverse, that there's so many voices, and there's different people that you're going to be drawn to. You'll find your people, and it'll be great. So I learned that. And how did I learn that? She was the first one. I started discovering, and I asked God to protect me in my discovery. And I started doing things like I would talk to people, I started to meet other people that dreamed. And I would ask them, do they know any resources? And they would lead me to some, and I would check it out. And I would go, okay, that one speaks my language. Nope, that one doesn't. And that's okay. I want to give you permission for that. I want to give you permission. I say permission to explore and discover for yourself. And because everyone's different, there's different types of dreamers, and there's people that dream about different things. You have people that dream about, like really, really like symbolic, and maybe it's like really heavy on the spiritual realm and not so literal. There's different types of dreamers. And if you don't dream like that, and you're learning from someone who dreams like that, it can be hard to connect. I'm not saying you can't. I do encourage you to discover and ask, maybe that's something that God will take you to, but you'll know. So I'm going to lead you there. Discover on YouTube. I have some ones that are my favorite that I'm going to lead you to, that I'm going to say, hey, check out this person. Sean Bowles is one of my favorite dreaming with God, dream interpreters. That's not his primary thing. That's what he does, but he does have them, and you'll find that on YouTube. Check out him on YouTube. John Paul Jackson. He's like the father of dreaming, I think is like what people say. He has YouTube. Go there, discover that. Doug Addison, he has a book. I finally bought one of his books. And so those are just people that I've discovered. You might have your own, but I put value on learning. And that's why I'm leading you. I really feel like this one is about, you can go check out episode 1, and it gives you some next steps on getting started with dreaming. What do you do? Just get started. But this one is really on the value of learning. And so when I met her, I put value on that. I went to her class, go to a school, I've also, as you go on your journey, I invested and I went to a school to learn more. You may be feeling drawn to go to a school and learn more. There's all kinds of things. I joined a dream group on Facebook, and I'm going to give you one because it's one that I've found that is safe, and it's, the language speaks to me. It speaks my language, so maybe it does you. But discover that you'll find your place. But God will lead you. He didn't leave me alone. He first brought, my this lady who mentored me, and he will not leave you alone. If you don't have anyone and you've been asking for that, maybe it's because he wants to be that person for a while, and that is okay. He will not, ask him and he will answer you, and he won't leave you. So the dreams group, I'm going to tell you about it. It's Dreams 222, and that it's a great one, and you can join. It's free. And they talk about dreams on there. So I want to talk to you about dream symbols. And everyone feels different about dream symbols. I believe it's an and, not like you have to pick one thing or the other to kind of learn from. And I, my mentor, she led me in both. She led me in discovering symbols. She led me to discover with the Holy Spirit, and she led me to be taught through a person, right? So I have found value in it all. And the thing about dream symbols that I want to lead you to is that let them lead you to discover with God. So dream symbols have led me to get curious with God, and led me to discover my own dream language and what things mean for me. Because you can have dream symbols, and let's say there is, a dog, right? A dog might mean something totally different to you than it does for me. Maybe I'm afraid of dogs. Maybe I love dogs. Maybe I don't love dogs, right? They speak our language. Maybe your dog's like, a dog in a dream that's your best friend. Like, God can speak different things through different symbols. And so these, don't throw out dream symbols. I because I fully believe that God has given people gifts, and he gave those people the gift to create that type of resource for a reason. So that is why I believe that we don't throw those things out and go, well, that's not needed. God gifted them to write that. So I believe it's a resource from heaven, and I believe that it shouldn't be thrown out, and that we can use it. So that's my personal belief on dream symbols. And I do believe, I'm going to give you, so in Genesis, I want to talk about Genesis 40, 8-9. And this is when Pharaoh's cupbearer and the baker, they had dreams, and they were really down because they didn't have anyone to interpret them. Okay. And in Genesis 40, 8-9, they replied, so they were talking to Joseph, we both had dreams last night, but no one can tell us what they mean. And Joseph replied, interpreting dreams is God's business. Go ahead and tell me your dreams. So the Lord will help you. The interpretation belongs to the Lord. The Holy Spirit will lead you to understand, but he can lead you through dream symbols. He can lead you through just discovering, Lord, what is this dream that you just gave me? What does this mean? Right? And then he can lead you through somebody else. Like my mentor, she taught me in the way that she would, I would tell her I had a dream, and she would say, okay, tell me the dream. And then she'd say, what do you think it means? Before she would even tell me anything, she would tell me, what do you think it means? And that was scary, because I was like, she's this dream interpreter. And, at first I would feel like, I don't want to say something wrong, but that's how she taught me. She taught me to discover, and then she would tell me, okay, well, this is what I think it means. And I would go, yes, that's it. But so that's how I have learned. I've put value on it, and I just keep going, and I put more value on it. And uh, you know, I just bought my first book. I've been dreaming for how long? Right? Five, maybe 5, 6 years. I don't. I will tell y'all one day when I figure it out. But I just bought my first actual book on it because God took me through a time of really learning with Him. He gave me some symbols, and He told me to learn with Him. I went to a dream school. I've taken some classes, things like that. So go after it. Go after the things that God is leading you to. I want to give you some dreams. I want to tell you about some dreams, and then I'm going to bring Britt on because she values learning, and I want her to give her experience of learning with God. And so when I first started dreaming, some of the dreams that God gave me drew me in. And I believe that there's things that God will tell you in dreams that are going to I believe sometimes it's just to draw you closer, to Him. I told you in the last episode that the greatest thing I've discovered in dreaming was a relationship with Him and knowing how He speaks. Like I go to sleep every night going, oh, what are you going to tell me tonight? So I go expecting. And so that's the greatest thing that's come out of this. Not yes, knowing my destiny. Yes, God promises that He's going to speak to us. Having strategy. Yes, He promises He's going to lead us to and give us everything we need to fulfill our destiny. Solutions to my problems. He says that He's going to do it, right? So there's all that. But it's that relationship with Him. I learned so much more about Him. And that's my heart to go. If you're curious about dreaming or you are dreaming, like, what an opportunity. What an opportunity. I was not a dreamer. I tell you this over and over. I was not a dreamer. And someone prayed over me and I started dreaming 5 to 6 years ago. So that's my journey. I believe it is possible for everybody. So pay attention to God drawing you in through dreams. And so I love telling dreams because I believe it leads us to know what's possible, one, but also to know I'm not crazy. I had a dream like that. Does that mean something? I love possibility. I love that other people's stories lead us to what is possible. Chris Valentin, he would always share things that were possible. He would share, God spoke to me this way and that way. And God gave me strategy and solutions for my business. And that led me to go, I want that. Will you give me strategy and solutions? So we're going to pause. I'm going to lead you to that. If you are on here, you're listening, that if you are like, Lord, would you speak to me through dreams? Would you speak to me through dreams? I'm going to lead you to ask Him right now. So you can, in your own words, you can follow what I say, whatever it is, but we're going to ask Him. So Father, would you speak to us through dreams? Just like you did for so many that have gone before us. We see in your word, and you show us what's possible in your word, that people received just relationship. They received their calling, they received direction, strategy, all those things through dreams. And we ask for it. We ask for those things that are possible with you through dreams, God. That they're not scary. I say no to scary. We thank you, Father, that you give us understanding. And so if there's anyone listening right now who they're like, I just don't dream, I just pray that over you, just a release of dreams, that you would dream in the night with the Lord, that you would dream in the night with the Lord. Okay, so this is one of my dreams that this is one of my early dreams. I dreamt that I was in England and I was exploring England and I was taking pictures on my phone of like a soccer game. And my camera on my phone was all messed up and it fell off. And I'm like, oh no, my camera fell off and it was all dirty. And there was this lady in this courtyard and she's doing schoolwork, like kind of checking it and making the schoolwork. And she's a teacher. And I asked her, can you look at my camera and fix it? And she says, why don't you ask God? And so I stop right there and I pray. So I pray and I ask God for a gift. I realized that I said, what is today's date? This is in my dream. I say, what is today's date? And they tell me it's the 14th. And I was like, oh, my birthday is tomorrow. And so I asked the Lord, will you give me a gift? And I prayed about my phone to be fixed. And so next scene, I'm in an orphanage and there's girls in this room. And I had this dream in 2016. And so there's these girls in this room and we're on like this little mini stage. And this girl gets up and she starts singing. And their people are blown away. So there's all these people in the audience and they're blown away and they ask her to sing a song that she wrote. And she's like, this is my first time I have sung. I don't have any songs. So she stepped out and like did this brave, courageous thing, right? So I'm sitting on the floor behind her with a lady and we're talking about me speaking. And I say, Lord, if you want me to speak, you will make a way. So it's like in the dream, I'm kind of like engaging the Lord and asking him almost to impart these things and give me direction in my dream. And I tell the lady, I want to talk to these girls about their dreams. So I wake up and I was very new to this, but I knew this dream was something. I knew that kind of like camera, lens, that's like what you see. Phone is kind of like messages, you get a call. So I kind of knew I had been discovering, with the Lord, different things. And I pulled, symbols. I asked the Lord. I used to, spend a lot of time when I would wake up and just talk to the Lord about dreams and like, oh, what is possible? What does this mean? Ask a lot of questions. But I went to this lady that mentored me and I asked her, so with this dream, she led me to say, well, your birthday is in this dream and your birthday is on the 15th. And is there anything going on with your birthday? Anything like that? And I was going to this school in California and I was going to be there for 2 weeks and my birthday was during that time. And this was a school, they're highly prophetic and things like that. So she felt that I was going to get a gift on my birthday and that I would have like this upgrade in seeing and hearing and the prophetic. And so this caused me to ask God more questions about it. And I was like, Lord, am I going to get a gift on my birthday when I'm there? Am I going to get this upgrade? So I went to the school prepared to receive on my birthday. Like I was expectant. I was like, I know this is going to happen because I had been dreaming with God and he had been showing me things coming true little by little, different things for myself. He would show me a dream and it would come true. Different things like all kinds of stuff. I would see someone pregnant and then they would be pregnant. There was different stuff. I don't recommend that if you see someone pregnant in a dream that you automatically assume they're pregnant. Okay. don't go run and tell them you're having a baby, those kind of things. But he started to teach me. I was very slow in releasing dreams and telling people I had a dream about you. It was just slow because you need to discover dreaming with God. You need to grow in that is what I believe. So I went there expecting that I would get an upgrade. I was staying with a friend. She was going to let me borrow a room and stay at her house. And I had met her on a missions trip and I did not know where she lived. And so during this time, I asked her for her address because we needed it so we could, go stay there. And the street was on Manchester. And I realized that Manchester is in England. And this dream, I was in England exploring. And so the Lord spoke to me, that's a confirmation that you will be receiving a gift. So I could believe it, or I could go, no, that wasn't nothing. That was nothing. That was just a coincidence. But I chose to believe it. And that has been my whole dream life going forward, is that I choose to believe that God speaks to us in dreams. I choose to grow in dreaming. I choose to pursue learning in any way that's possible with dreaming. And so that is where I want to lead you, is what is possible with God, pursuing learning, but also choosing to believe. I will believe that you are speaking to me in my dreams. And so I received, and I continue to take dreams like that, and I continue to allow God to lead me. So that's just one little dream that how God confirmed things. And I do believe that I, had an upgrade in the prophetic, and my lens was clean when I was there. I left there with a new revelation of some things of the Lord that blew me away. And so some of the things I still do is these dreams cause me to discover more with the Lord, and that's what His dreaming does. Even 5, 6 years later, it still does that. I still go to my mentor when I need help, but most of my learning, with just the Lord and resources that I've gotten on my own is how I grow. But I still do go to her whenever I have a dream that I'm like, I need some major confirmation on this. Sometimes you'll have dreams that you're like, yeah, I think I know what this is, but I need some extra help. And that's what mentors do. Mentors really help with that. And then I continue to further my education. And dreaming has led me to know God's voice and know how He speaks. And I believe that it's going to lead you to really, if you are listening and you feel like, but I don't know if it's my voice or His voice. That is a common thing that I hear. I don't know if I'm hearing me or Him. His voice is alive. And I believe that when we pursue growing and hearing His voice and activating that and learning, that we actually get to know His voice, just like you were to know your friend's voice. Do you know when anyone who is really close with a friend, married, family members, do you know when they clear their throat that it's them in the other room? You can hear it, right? Because you know them. That's what will happen. You will know His voice. His dreams will actually feel like something. They feel, because they're alive, and you will become confident in what you hear in your dreams. You'll be confident. No, all of this has led me to make major business decisions, make products that you would create, or even, things for my family, stuff like that, because I'm now confident. No, that's God is speaking, and we can go with Him. So yeah, there's a little bit of, your own risking. He's not a risk, but it's your own risking. So I want to bring Britt on. So go ahead and come on, Britt. And Britt, like I said, she is one to pursue learning with dreaming. She has totally been doing that for a while now. And she takes things and puts them into practice. She learns and then she puts it into practice. And I've watched her get resources. She's definitely one to speak towards learning. And so I want to ask her some questions. Britt, one of the questions I have for you is, how has pursuing learning about dreams impacted your dream life?
Well, first, I love that our stories are similar in that, like, you hear what's possible for other people and you're like, it's like I was totally you sitting at the edge of your seat when I went to one of Kimberly's classes last year. I was like, this is safe. It's possible. And I until the last year, I really stayed away from dream interpretation because I didn't understand it. No one ever taught me about it. It seemed really weird. And even though I knew I dreamed all the time since I can remember, it didn't register that it was actually safe to ask God about it. And Kimberly's teaching really just kind of showed me what was possible and kind of sparked that curiosity. And I think that to me is like in terms of pursuing learning about dreams and how it's impacted my life, it has taken me on this like a new level or a new layer of just discovering what God has to say for my life and for my destiny and for strategy in my business. And even just the curiosity, even if I don't get answers right away, it's still drawing me into what asking him what he's saying. That I'm not just grasping at straws. If I know I had a significant dream, I'm not just like, oh, that was just a crazy dream. It's really saying, okay, God, like lead me. And so it's this invitation, this like both two-way invitation that he's calling me in to grow deeper with him and me exploring with him. And so it's just taken my faith on another level, because part of I feel like my life mission is to help people hear his voice. And if we spend a third of our lives dreaming, why wouldn't he be speaking in our dreams? So it really has just impacted my life in such a way that it's helped me to just my curiosity is just sparked, and pursuing just the awe and wonder of like, what, no one understands dream, and it's this wild world that we all, most people dream or have dreamed at one point in their life. And so it's really just that risk with him that's just impacted my faith, to just grow with him. And it is growth. It's all about growth for me.
That is so cool. That just like gets me. That just makes me so like, what? It's
Mhm.
like crazy to hear that. And I don't know, just blows me away. And it's just beautiful and totally, I love it so much.
Mhm.
Um, I love your journey. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So, what is the most significant thing that has happened to you through night dreams?
I mean, I think in the when I'm awake, it's really significant in that it's caused this crazy growth and exploration and adventure with God. But in the nighttime, it really, I've seen where I've gotten dreams for other people. I've seen God speak to me in my dreams. He's confirmed things through my dreams. I've gotten business direction in my dreams. And whoever thought, I didn't think that that was possible. And so I just feel like asking for more in that way. It's just, yeah, that's probably the biggest thing is that knowing that the confirmation, the strategy, and risking like, okay, if I think I dream this for my business, I'm just going to step out and trust that it is a risk because you're feeling that, like you said it so good though. You said that God is not a risk, that we get to risk with him and step out.
Yeah.
And so I just feel like it's that, the most significant thing has been confirmation in my business, and relationships and life in general, I think through night dreams.
So cool. Yeah, she had a dream for Oh Free Bird Fly for our team for some things that we were doing. And we were so excited. We're like, no. We always get excited for just the dreams and the way that he speaks to us.
Mhm.
And we do, we get really excited about those.
That's like one of our favorite parts about our team meetings is we get to share what dreams we've had, and we're like, oh my god, we all get so excited. So it really, like, I would encourage just say to just enjoy. Like you think about hearing other people's dreams, and you normally it doesn't resonate, or you're like, oh, it's just dreaming. But when you dream with God, you're like, what is he saying? What does that mean? That was a wild dream. So yeah, he's so
Yeah, when
fun.
we have dreams and somebody tells one of the dreams, our mouths drop because you can literally, seriously, when you're with someone who values dreams and they go, I had this dream. What does it mean? It's like you can feel it when they say like one or two lines. You're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing because you know what you're about to tell them that God's speaking to them, and you're like, oh, this is good.
Mhm.
All right, so tell us about a dream that has really impacted you.
Ooh, yay. This is such a good question. Like I said, I dream so much that to the point where I've shared with Kimberly, it can be really overwhelming the amount of dreams. And at first, I wasn't remembering them, and so I started to get overwhelmed. And I realized that like this is God calls us to rest. Like our walk with Him is restful. And so if I'm operating from that place of overwhelm and like, oh my gosh, what does this mean? What does this mean? And
Yes.
nitpicking every little thing, it can be overwhelming. And so I feel like a particular dream that I actually shared with Kimberly. I'm actually really excited because I feel like I'm walking in it right now. And I feel like the more you dream with God, the more you get curious, the more you'll know when you feel something that is significant. So I dream all the time. I dream multiple dreams a night, but usually you can tell when you it's like a feeling and a knowing that, oh, this one was I'm going to pay attention to, or this one felt significant. And this particular one, I was at a basketball tournament and I didn't have my contacts in or my glasses. I didn't have my phone or purse or anything. And I was looking for it in a locker room, and the lockers were yellow and they had no like door or like no like handles on it to open them. And someone was going to offer me their unused, unopened track phone, like the cheap phones you get from the store. But I told the person, I said, I'd rather go a day or two without mine until I can actually get my own, like get my phone back. And I was trying to find the gym for the varsity court for the basketball game, but I went to the gym where actually the JV junior varsity team was playing. And I asked a guy where the varsity gym was, and he offered to help me find it. And as we are walking down a tunnel to go find, like through the school hallway, he said, now you have to work hard." And my dream ended. And I just knew it was significant. It was just a knowing. And so I kind of just sat with it. I'm like, okay, you think about the most basic things
Yeah.
when you think about contacts, your cell phone messages, basketball. It's a game. There's back and forth. And so I feel like for me, I wasn't afraid by what the guy said at the very end. I knew what he said was really significant when he said, now you have to work hard. So that brought me to thinking about, okay, well, JV is, I'm being brought up to the varsity level. I desire to be, and I know I can play at the varsity level in the prophetic, in hearing God's voice. But it was going to be hard work. And so, I mean, it takes work to get to that level. And so I knew it was like confirmation. It was actually encouragement. I feel more encouraged than I did like, oh my gosh, like overwhelmed that it's going to be really hard, that things are, going to be difficult. For me, if anything, I think I look at it and I'm like, wow, like what an honor that God spoke to me, that like I am being brought to this varsity level, that I'm going to have to work hard. So it's almost like it was God like sharing, like it's going to be hard, but like this, we got this. Like I'm totally capable. I'm totally equipped. And I just feel like my contact lens is not having those at the moment, but knowing that I can't play without them. I'm gonna need vision. I'm gonna need to see clearly. So it was just a really I'm walking that out right now, and so it just was such a fun and exciting dream, because it was kind of short and sweet, but I also knew that it was really significant. So they don't have to be these big lengthy dreams that have tons of symbols and sign, all these, night long dreams. It was really quick, and but I knew it was significant. So I'm really excited for that one.
I love that. Yeah, that's so cool. And I do believe that you are like in that dream, in the
Hmm.
midst of that right now. I think it's so cool. So God leads us, He prepares us. Like she had that dream before, and He leads us to through our dreams of where we're going and what we're stepping into. And He can also, even dreams kind of like they encourage us so that we might feel like I'm having a hard time, or I feel like I'm back and forth. And the Lord's like, no, this is why you're feeling this, because this is where I'm leading you. And so He will always lead us. So, what encouragement would you give our listeners uh, with dreaming with God in the night? How would you encourage them?
I definitely want to encourage people who either know that they dream, or if they've never dreamed before, that it's the perfect time to start. It's like that you were like, oh, I've missed out on years of understanding my dreams. Or if you're like me and you were afraid of it, that no one ever taught you what healthy dream interpretation is. I just feel like that curiosity will lead you. He will lead you. He's the perfect leader. The Holy Spirit will lead you to all truth. And so trusting that and stepping out on that, I feel like, in just inviting God into that, like going to bed and saying like, Lord, I invite you into my dream life. Like I welcome what you have to say. I'm not afraid. I know that the enemy can't touch me in my dream. Like you just inviting that curiosity in yourself to explore with God. And so I just encourage you to grow curious, to ask questions, to go to the Bible. I can't believe I've grown up in the church and no one ever talked to me about dream interpretation. I always thought it was bad. I thought it was really not something biblical. And then here I am, 33 years old, like finally like growing and adventuring with God in this area. And it's something that I feel like anybody at any age, if they're curious, is to just risk with him and say, okay, like you said this, Lord, you showed us in the word that dream interpretation is possible, and destiny dreams and strategy and encouragement, and it's possible. So
I love it. It's possible.
yeah.
Go for it. Yeah, I love it so much. Thank you, Britt. So a few tips I want to give you to get started with learning. So one is find a voice that you relate to. Start discovering, and then when you find that, start learning. Whatever resources they have, go after them. Number two, listen to some teachings and interpretations from them. So that goes along with finding a voice you relate to, then listen to their teachings, listen to how they interpret, and you're going to learn, you're going to grow through that. Number three, consider taking a class or a school on dreams, on dreaming and dream interpretation. You're going to catch all kinds of things, and you're going to grow, and it's going to help you move along in that learning. And number four, buy a resource, buy a book, buy a download, whatever it is, invest in it. And number five, just get started. And that is my advice in growing. You don't have to have an in-person mentor. There's so many ways that you can be mentored. I just want to encourage you that the Lord might send somebody, and just trusting him that he will not leave you, that he will fully give you everything you need to fulfill what he's calling you to, what he's leading you to. And so if you don't have that, doesn't mean that you still don't ask him for it. I asked for many years for different types of mentors, but just go, okay, well, I'll still learn from a distance. I'll still learn with you, Lord, and you will grow. You don't have to have that in-person person, but if you do, great. If you don't, that's fine too. And so I want to pray over you guys. And yeah, so Father, I thank you for everyone who is listening and is going to listen to this. Father, I thank you for dreams. I thank you for learning and discovery with you. And I just release everything that you have just given me, Father, and I just give it to them. And I say, let dreams come, let the ease of dreaming be released, and that you pursue them, Lord. And so I just say that your openness that you would be open, your heart would be open to hearing the Lord in a new way. And I just release that over you, that peace in your dreams right now in Jesus' name, and just an acceleration in your learning and your discovery of what God is speaking through your dreams, and just that your relationship is set on fire, that you become so curious as to what God's speaking, and that you have just this adventure with God in dreaming. And so I just agree with you, Father, for everything that you have for each one of them in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, so I want to thank you for joining us for episode 2 of the Dream series. And I just want to encourage you to pursue growing and dreaming in the night. Go after it. And so for more on dreams, you can join us for our next episode. And in the meantime, you can connect with us in our free Facebook community by just searching Oh Free Bird Fly Community on Facebook. You can also follow us on IG, just Oh Free Bird Fly, and our website is ohfreebirdfly.com. And we just bless you guys. We bless your dreaming, and we look forward to just being with you next time, and we'll see you then. Bye.